March is Endometriosis Awareness Month, as we've been covering, and today we are highlighting a cause that's affecting 1 in 10 women worldwide. Diana Falzone, executive producer and host of Endo TV, is joining us now live from West Milford, New Jersey, to discuss the important work that's being done by the Endometriosis Foundation of America. Good morning, Diana.
Good morning, Trinity, and thank you so much for having me today and shining a light on endometriosis.
And why do you think it's so important to have a dedicated month for this disease awareness?
Well, endometriosis is a little known disease. It's getting more name recognition over recent years. Many thanks to Padma Lakshmi, who's co-founder of EndoFound, which was co-founded by Dr. Tamara Sechkin in 2009. But this disease is not a bad period. It's not simply a menstruation disease. It's a complex, systematic disease associated with tissues similar to the endometrial lining of the uterus growing outside the uterus that can affect the whole body. It is not benign in any way. It can cause a lot of extra pelvic complications such as lung collapse, bowel obstruction, even kidney failure. So to shine a light on a disease that affects an estimated 200 women globally is not only important, it's vital.
And there's about a 7 to 10 year delay in diagnosis sometimes. So what can be done to speed up that process and avoid being in that predicament?
Exactly. If you suspect that you have symptoms of endometriosis, it is important that you go to your family care doctor, if that is where you first start, and advocate for yourself and say, I know my body. I know something is wrong. Because the big thing that we need to hear in our heads is that pain with our menstrual cycles is not normal. We've been kind of taught that a little bit of pain is it's just part of what it is to be a woman. But no, when you are in crippling, debilitating pain and you are on the sidelines, whether missing work or missing school, that is abnormal. You need to seek medical intervention. Start with your family doctor and your gynecologist and arm yourself with information. And EndoFound has a lot of great information that people can find on endofound.org where they can have at least a starting point of where they can get some help.
Diana, can you talk a little bit more about those symptoms that one would experience to actually know if they may have endometriosis?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Trinity. Great question. Some of those symptoms that you should look for is a heavy bleeding. Are you going through a pad more than an hour? Are you having blood clots? Are you in more than, let's say, a 2 or 3 pain where an ibuprofen or a Tylenol doesn't take away the pain? Are you missing work? Are you missing school? Are you getting sick, vomiting, having an upset stomach? All of these things could indicate endometriosis.
And how is Endo TV helping raise awareness and remove the stigma around this disease?
By getting it out in the forefront, by destigmatizing a woman's menstrual cycle, by not making it something that we put our heads down and quietly handle, but by speaking among ourselves and hearing each other's stories so that someone who's sitting at home can go, you know what? That sounds like me. I actually might be sick. I might have an illness that can progressively get worse over time if there isn't an intervention.
And
And
what
as we know, there's no cure for endo.
I do want to talk to you about looking to the future, about what research excites you most that's coming up, and how might it impact the future of endometriosis treatment?
So there's a great deal of research, and EndoFound is helping to fund some of it. There is something called the ROSE study that is actually testing menstrual effluent, and they can try to find an easier way of getting to a diagnosis because, as you mentioned, Trinity, there is about a 7 to 10 year lapse. And in between that time, lots of pain, lots of suffering, even medical misdiagnoses. So, in order to be able to have a simple blood test, a swab in order to get a diagnosis versus what we have now, which is an invasive laparoscopic biopsy of the tissue would be a really, really wonderful diagnostic tool that we can introduce. And EndoFound does have some very exciting news coming up with a pioneering collaboration that hopefully maybe we could come back and talk about in the near future with you.
Well, we would love to have you back. Thank you so much for joining us and bringing awareness to this important issue. Diana Falzone, executive producer and host of Endo TV. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.